Welcome to this conversation with the Morning Tea Marketing Missus. We have got a bit of a treat today. For those that have been following us for the last couple of years, know that we talk about a particular topic. We offer our expertise and our ideas and maybe challenge you a little bit to think a bit differently on a subject. What we've decided to do this time is to learn more about each one of us, why we do what we do and how do we do it, and then what we might do in our spare time. So we're going to target Narelle with this particular interview. I'm looking forward. I'll start off with the first question, and then, ladies, it's back
We'll
to
pile
you.
on.
Thank you.
Free for all.
So,
Thank
Narelle,
you, ladies.
first question is exactly what do you do, and why did you get started in it?
What do I do? I am a digital accessibility auditor, consultant, and trainer. And what that is, it's teaching and working with business to ensure that their websites are accessible to everyone, regardless of ability. And why did I get into it? Okay, I've been in the IT industry for 40 odd years now. Gosh, my hair gives it away. And I never knew about digital accessibility. It is actually part of the Disability Discrimination Act. It is Standards Australia actually has a digital accessibility standard. So it's government legislation, federal government legislation. It is Queensland government legislation. There's a Disability Discrimination Act here in Queensland, 2019, I think it is. And when I was coding and when I was working, I knew nothing about it. We weren't trained about it when we went through uni. Actually, didn't exist when we went through uni, so I can get away with it and say, yeah, for me, it wasn't there. But when I started losing my sight, and that was, gosh, 17 years ago now, I started having heaps of issues in the fact that I was using magnification, and that was fine. But there's this standard that says if you've got to magnify something up to 400%, you need to start using a screen reader.
Oh, wow.
And that's where all the problems started, because it was little things. And where I was working, they weren't digitally accessible. And it was a Queensland government department. And you will note all Queensland government departments say they're accessible. They're not. They may be partially accessible, but they are not fully accessible. And I had to stop work. And I seriously thought that was the end of my work, because I couldn't code anymore, which I loved doing. And I was a database and desktop coder. That had to stop. So I tried project management, and it wasn't my love, but I had to keep working. But it was so often I'd get, oh, I can't use this tool. Oh, well, look, just get so-and-so to use that tool for you. And I'd be sitting there saying, I'm the project manager. I've got to know the budgets. I've got to know who's doing what. And it was all inaccessible to me. And at the same time, I was getting massive headaches because I was very light sensitive back then as well. And I had to stop work, and I've never been so lost. I've always worked. I've worked as a kid. I grew up out bush, always worked. And I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm not a person that goes and has a cup of tea with people just to do it. I can't do that. It's never, I hate shopping with a passion. You know, I really hate it. Yeah, I like go clothes shopping. That is the biggest boring thing you can do. Take me to a Bunnings and I can be there for hours. But clothes shopping, I hate clothes shopping. I hate just wandering around looking at things. That's boring. I've got to do something for a purpose. And a friend of mine who's blind was telling me about digital accessibility. And I said, what the hell's that? And he told me, and I said, what do you mean it's law? You know, it's legislated. And he told me, oh my God. So I went and started learning about it. And we decided he had a business already doing assistive technology training, and he wanted to get more in this. And he said, come with me. And I said, yeah, okay. And so I went back and I was doing it as a volunteer basis. It's really only this year I've been a paid employee, and that's only recently, because I can't sit still. So all it is I want to be able to read a document. I mean, Janeen, you've been with me. Lara, you've been with me, where it'll be a menu. It'll be something so simple, and I can't read it. but the technology's there. And I just want to help other people and help business understand the technology's there, that everyone can read it. And it's not just people with vision impairment like me, it's the hearing impaired, it's the cognitive therapies, it's the people with arthritis. It's every disability. We all have the same issues. If a website's not set up for us, people with ASD, we're all in the same boat. All I want to do is, when I retire, to say I've done the best I can to spread the message, get more websites accessible so people with disability are part of the community and that we can be independent, because as you three know, I'm really stubborn and I love being independent, and it frustrates me when I'm not. So I just want that for every one of us. We all have that right, and that's why I do what I do.
There you go. I love it.
Wonderful.
Any other questions for Narelle?
I do. I would like to know, thank you for sharing why you do what you do. I love that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the journey that you went through to get to where you are today. It's amazing how life has its twists and turns for us as well. You know, the experiences that it brings up to develop us and to bring us to where we are today. We always keep evolving, despite the challenges, in the face of them. I'm curious if there is a particular client that you remember that that you know was really touched by the work that you do, that makes you feel really validated, you know, in the professionalism that you have and the business that you hold around.
Yeah, there is one, and I am so excited and so rapt that our clients, and they're nearly at the completely accessible stage. And it's a company called Surge Consulting. They have a mobile phone app called Surge, and they're a concierge for people with disability. And what they do is they actually set up, they call it visual stories. So say you want to go to like the Whites at Coolum, the Whites IGA at Coolum, and you know you need to do your grocery shopping. With this mobile phone app, you can go on, look it up, and you can see, okay, there's a ramp to get in there. These are the things, these are the smells, this is what I'm going to hear, this is what I'm going to feel, this is the noise, everything about it. And then you can send a message to them saying, hey, look, it's me. I've got to do my grocery shopping. I'm coming on this day at this time. They actually organise, so this is a Whites at Coolum, organise someone to meet you, and they will work with you to do your grocery shopping. So say you're an ASD person that gets really triggered by noise. They turn down the noise.
Wow.
It's the simple things. And you know what? We are so excited because they are adding more places on all the time. I think QPAC's now on it, which for me, who I love going and watching musicals and all those things and plays and things, I know now I hop on there and I think, okay, even though I've been to QPAC, okay, go and have a look, see if there's something different. Your Monday markets, you know, it's now accessible. So what they've done is made all these places, swimming pools. Oh, the list is long. The places that they've made accessible for people just by adding a visual story, and they're our clients. And why is that really important to us? We've helped them make it accessible because we've taught them about structures of documents and websites and the mobile phone apps and how to make things accessible. So they're much more accessible than what they were. And they're keeping implementing it. And it just means it's opening up to people with disability, that we can do more things. It's just a little thing, but it's not.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wow.
Amazing.
So that's a lot about work talk, Narelle. What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun?
Yeah.
I do park run every chance I get. I do it with a sighted guide, though. I do it slightly different to a lot of people. So us blindies, we're part of a group called Achilles, and they organise sighted guides for us. So like I think it's gone up for this week. No, we're doing International People with Disability today. So we're already organising that. So we're taking over and running every bit of the park run we can this week at one site. And we organise sighted guides. So I go along, and when I had a guide dog, when I had Cassidy, she used to love park run. I'd say park run day, and she'd be doing laps of the unit, because she knew we'd get out there. They'd say, on your mark, get set, go. I had Cassidy. I had a person, like I'm running now, jogging, between jogging and walking, beside me, and off we go. We do 5K, come back. We have a morning tea. Everyone takes something. We have coffee. And it's people of all abilities, different sight levels, and, so-called normal people. They're actually the abnormal ones, because they actually have sight. It's quite odd for them. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but it is odd. And then, so I do that as often as I can. I walk all the time. Actually, after we finish this, I'm going walking again. So I do about 5-7 Ks a day if I can, because I just love it. And I listen to books. I listen to audio described TV. My favourite show at the moment is a toss-up between Unforgotten and Shetland. All murder mysteries. Yeah, I know. I love that. I listen to books a lot. I listen to podcasts. I listen to music. And I crochet. I do a lot of crochet for the homeless, whether it's beanies, whether it's rugs. And that's where I was this morning. Once a week, every week, we all meet up. A lot of elderly ladies. I'm one of the young ones. And we just crochet for the homeless, and we get wool donated, and we all sit there and make rugs and beanies and scarves. So come winter, they've got what they need, whether it's elderly and
Just
aged
on that,
care.
Narelle, how do people donate wool? Can they just get in touch
with they can get in touch with me. That's easy. Or they can, if they've got any wool left over, there's tons of groups, but our group operates out of it's Kalinga Community Centre. It's the community place, I think it's called. And you just get the wool to me, or ring the community place, and they take donations of wool. You can donate money to donate wool, because there's 18 of us. Actually, there's a couple that don't come now. They just get wool delivered to them, and next minute someone comes in with rugs and rugs and rugs and beanies and whatever's needed. Yeah. And like I sit at night, because I always had a book in my hands when I read. So now I listen and I crochet.
Nice.
So it's amazing. You can knock up a beanie in an hour and a half, 2 hours for an adult.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of us can.
But it's just, it keeps me busy. And like if I'm sitting on a bus or something, I'll crochet, because I sit and listen. Or on the train, if I'm in a car for a long time, sit and crochet.
I think you're an amazing example of it. As long as you can be accessible to the world, then you can do anything. There's nothing holding you back, because things are becoming more and more accessible, which, from what you said, is so important to you.
It is.
And just, for people that are listening, you mentioned the dog Cassidy that you had, and you've recently, you had to retire Cassidy as he aged out, and then had Rocket, and now you don't have a dog. So I think people are even interested, because when we were having a chat beforehand, and you said you've got training coming up. I love that.
Okay. I call myself guide dogless until I get another guide dog. And that's a process, because they've got to be matched to me, because my mum says I walk like a bat out of hell. I don't. I just walk at a normal pace for me and for my friends that we all walk. But I'm back on long cane, which I think you've seen. But I use a few tools, and these are technology tools. So I use a thing called a mini guide, which I hold just in front of me, and it vibrates in my hand when it sees an obstacle, when a ray is bounced back at me, basically. Wow. And so I know there's an obstacle there, and I can set it for 3 different measurements, which is I do a 1 meter. So that gets me to find doors, because don't forget, for me to find a door is really hard. I've got no functional sight left, so I see shapes. So finding doors is really hard. So you've got to do it by feel. You feel the air conditioning change.
Wow.
You listen for a change in sound. Okay. And they're 2 indicators. And sometimes if the doorway's clear, it's easy. But if you're in shops, you know how they often put racks in the doors? So the mini guide doesn't work for that. So it's feeling of the difference in temperature and sound. And like even echoing can echo a bit. So you listen and feel for that. But because I've been with the guide dog so long, my cane skills are not as good. So my support worker, once a week, every week, takes me somewhere, and I have to she'll tell me where I've got to get to. And I use on my phone, I have a tool that tells me what shops are around me. So if we're in Queen Street Mall in Brisbane, I've got it set up to a female voice, but it
Have
will
you
actually
named it,
tell me.
Narelle? Have you named it?
No, and guess what? The one on my computer is called Karen, because Karen's got the nicest voice. And hey, I've got an old friend called Karen, and she's the loveliest person.
I got called to Karen the other day, so don't worry about it.
Oh no, Karen's the best. But so when I'm walking, I use this tool that I say where I want to go. So say when we used to meet at the Normanby for our meetings, and it would link up with Google Maps or whatever, and it tells me what buses I've got to take, and it tells me the streets that are coming up. It tells me what's around me, and then with that, being aware, so it tells me where I am. I've got to still use a lot of spatial awareness myself, and being aware if there's a gutter. You can feel with gutters with the cane, because the cane's about 1 metre in front of you, 1.5 metres. And with the mini guide to pick up obstacles, that's how I have to get around. But it takes a lot of training and awareness. So where I used to be able to say to Rocket, I need to find the milk, need milk, Rocket. He goes, yeah, we'll go out here, we'll go to the IGA, there's the milk, and takes me straight there. Now I've really got to think, okay, think about where I am, try and work it out, and then get to where I'm going. It's a lot of extra thinking that I've got to do, because where I used to rely on Rocket. If I needed bananas, not a problem. He knew where the bananas were. Not everything. The things that you bought all the time, he was good with. If I said we need to go to Queen Street Mall or the bus stop, he knew where the bus stop is, off we'd go. Cassidy was even better, because Cassidy actually knew where the lollies were. Mind you, Cassidy's lollies, not mine.
Priorities.
Oh yeah, priorities. But do you know what I mean? But it's still my responsibility to know where I am. So even when I'm relying on Rocket or a guide dog, I still have the Google Maps. I have this other tool going in my ears, telling me where I am. And that's what I've got to rely on, because I just see shapes. So because I see shapes, I couldn't tell you what any of you are wearing. And obviously I know where you're sitting, because we've done this for so long, but I can't tell what your hairstyle is at the moment. I've got no idea.
Oh, we're all looking gorgeous, Narelle.
Oh, I know. You always do. I just take that as a given. But you know, I will see a big thing, and it's either a truck, a house, or a tree. You don't know. You don't know where paths are splitting. You've got to feel with your cane, but you're really reliant on the edges to be good. So you're reliant on finding the edge of the path and going along and feeling and thinking, okay, grass path. Yep, there's another. Okay, no, I've got to go to the second join. Or if I'm walking along, say at Portside, the concrete's different. So it has one plain lot of concrete and one pebblecrete. And I have one foot always on the plain concrete, so I can get a bit of an idea where I am. But then you get knocked over with trees. So yeah.
Awesome. We could talk for so long about, I think, I learned so much about everyone else. They're just brilliant.
Thank you.
Narelle, if people want to learn more about accessibility, what can they do to get in contact with you?
Look, definitely go on our website. That's DASAT, D-A-S-A-T. So D for Don, A for Apple, S for Sam, A for Apple, T for Tom.com.au. Or you can email me at Narelle Gatti at dasat.com.au. Easy. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, Narelle Wright Gatti, and on Facebook.
You are everywhere. Yeah. Well done, you. And
Brilliant.
motivated me to go for a walk this afternoon as well. Thank you.
Ditto.
And that's a conversation with the Morning Team Marketing Missus, learning a little bit more about Narelle Gatti and just how she helps people become more accessible, but also learning about how you see the world in your space. It's quite amazing.
Thank you.
It's something that those of us that are sighted don't even have to consider.
The abnormal
Incredible.
ones. You're
Yeah,
just not
abnormal
quite
ones.
normal.
That's there.
Yeah, thank you.
But I can fall over gutters just as good as anybody, Narelle.
Excellent.
I don't fall over gutters because I got my cane. So you've got to get a long cane.
Remember to say hi on and make comments when you see on YouTube or any social media. We look forward to you making comment, joining us, and continuing to join us for every episode of the Monty T Marketing Misses. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.